Turning now to our other top story this noontime, the penalty phase of the marathon bombings trial. The jury, lawyers, and the convicted bomber are all back in the courtroom today. Jury members have to decide on a sentence, whether Dzhokhar Tsarnaev will live out his days behind bars or whether he'll be executed. Several survivors of the attack have spoken out in favor of life in prison. Eyewitness News reporter Jared Pliner has been part of our coverage throughout the trial. He's live in Boston now with an update for us.
Danielle, good afternoon. The government's opening statement in this penalty phase ended in a way none of us expected, covering this trial with a photo none of us have seen before. And it is a photo, a surveillance image from prisoner holding right here at the Moakley, right over the fence line, from July, a few months after the bombings, the day of Djohar's arraignment. And what does it depict? It depicts Dzhokhar Tsarnaev giving the middle finger to that security camera. One of the many things the government says points to Tsarnaev's, quote, uncaring and unrepentant nature. Prosecutor Nadine Pellegrini had huge, gorgeous color photos of the four deceased victims right in front of the jury box. She quoted Shakespeare, she quoted Emerson. She said this phase is going to be about how those four people lived before they were Dzhokhar Tsarnaev's murder victims. Pellegrini urged the jury not to be distracted by talk of Tamerlan Tsarnaev. He is no substitute for his brother or who was radicalized first. She said the death penalty is just and appropriate punishment for the surviving bombers. And by the way, one of those quotes from Julius Caesar, the fault, dear Brutus, is not in the stars, but in ourselves. Pellegrini says the fault squarely lives inside Dzhokhar Tsarnaev. She pointed jurors to that. She said that will lead you to the answer in the end. Now, the defense did not give an opening statement, and they won't until their rebuttal case begins, and that is not today. That will be down the road. As for who's on the stand at the moment, the government's first witness, at least when I left the courtroom, Celeste Corcoran of Lowell. She lost both legs below the knees. Her daughter, Sydney, was gravely wounded, and Sydney testified in the first part of this trial. We'll continue to follow all of this for you. Live in Boston with the Mobile Newsroom, I'm Jared Pliner, Eyewitness News.
Jared, thank you for that report, and stay with us for complete coverage of the penalty phase and the Boston Marathon bombings trial. As we have the latest from federal court, as Jared mentioned, live at 5, and of course updates throughout the day on our website, WPRI.com.